Ethna in Belfast. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. What would you like to say?
Hi. I don't want to be personal, but just listening to the last few callers, the woman saying, it doesn't matter, once we're out, the traders will say, we're still going to trade, you can't tell us what to do, we're still going to go over here, we're going to do this. It's just so worrying, and it's so crazy that the talk now is just about no deal, which is nothing. It doesn't consist of anything. It's just a manifestation.
Do you think that's going to
failure.
happen? If you really think it's so crazy, do you think it would be allowed to happen?
I hope not. I'm in Northern Ireland. I lived in London for 15 years. I'm now back in Northern Ireland, and it's so worrying because I know a lot of people say, and I know a lot of people don't feel that Northern Ireland really applies to them or matters to them, but we are in a situation where we're in the northern part of an island where everything happens back and forwards. Most of the farmers and the agri-food business in the north is all with the south. The Northern Irish sheep farmers have been saying only yesterday that their livelihoods, their whole trade is going to go because their best customers are French who love Northern Irish lamb and they love Irish beef as well. If Northern Ireland is out of the EU, or if there's no deal, which means it won't be in the single market, won't be in the customs union, the produce from Northern Ireland, it'll just be produce coming from a third country out of the EU. They won't be able to comply then with all the rules and regulations to sell and the standards to sell and trade within the EU. So it would be economic.
Well, you raised the very issue that Brussels is negotiating today. They've gone back to Northern Ireland. What's your view on that issue, Jonathan?
That's your last caller, Ethna. Thank you very much for saying that, because obviously you've hit so many nails on the head in that. And really, I think that Northern Ireland is the real reason why we could never have no deal. Partly because it would mean a hard border, which would breach the Good Friday Agreement, which the UK government has pledged to uphold. Partly because it would be such an economic catastrophe for Northern Ireland, particularly in the agri-food sector that you've identified. And also because Theresa May herself has guaranteed there'll be an open border. So really, Northern Ireland is the key to understanding what's going to happen at the end of this Brexit process, because May has boxed herself in by promising all these red lines. So one red line for the government is that Northern Ireland will not have a different status from Great Britain. But that's going to be very, very difficult, because the backstop, which the EU has insisted on, will keep Northern Ireland in a customs union and a single market in goods in order to preserve that open border. So really, the whole of the UK will have to be in the customs union. Otherwise, we'll have a tariff barrier in the Irish Sea. And the whole UK will have to be in the single market. Otherwise, there'll be a regulatory barrier in the Irish Sea. And so, really, it's incredibly important that we accept the reality of the situation. Northern Ireland, for such a long time, was forgotten by the UK government. Brussels cared more about Northern Ireland than London did, which is a shocking indictment to the current government. Certainly, Dublin was incredibly concerned for the first year that the UK government was ignoring this issue or pretending it didn't exist. And it does exist, and it means that we're going to have a soft Brexit or a no Brexit.
Okay, thank you very much, Ethna.